All right, let's get hard as fuck.
Hard.
This is our special episode with Mistress Sienna, the Dominatrix. Fucking awesome episode, actually.
Yeah, eye-opening, different. I had no idea what the Dominatrix was.
Yep, so Branchy learnt the hard way.
Yes, I definitely did.
What did we cover, Mistress Sienna?
My clientele.
Yep.
My
Yeah, just
like what
my
we
stories,
do.
yeah, and obviously the difference between lifestyle dominatrix and myself.
Yeah.
And
the separation between the two, the job and the person.
Yeah. And also obviously services wise, and basically the do's and don'ts.
Yep, and all the cool kinks like Skittles in the butt. And halfway through, Branchy gets dominated by a dominatrix, which he'll see in the video. Is amazing.
Yeah, even Delby got a little prick.
Yeah,
and I'm sure I'll be driving home, and all these other stories will come into my mind. But
that's all right. We can always have you on.
And randomly, the guy who got us our new neon sign from Glow House walked in as I had a gimp.
First time he's met.
I loved it.
So,
did a bit of voyeurism for him.
Yeah. Shout out to Atomic as well. I think this is the last app we give him a shout out. But fuck yeah, cheers Atomic. This episode is Atomic.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
Enjoy. Let's get hard. On the table, we've got something that looks like a fucking chainsaw.
I'm not looking
that's manual.
To
We are here with Sienna, the Dominatrix, and fuck, man, I'm excited.
I don't know how I feel right now.
Branchy's flustered. He's just released a massive load of information. A load of information for West Perth Footy Club. Can you announce that?
Yeah, I can. It was just last week we actually had Blackie on, and we sort of accidentally let it slip that they were partnering with Pentanet. But yeah, there was a bit of pressure on that. So now I feel like
load release.
Oh, I feel good. That was a stressful. It was actually because they have PR companies and stuff. I find it quite. Yeah, I don't like it when you're dealing with people who they've got branding and you have to work around them. So.
Yeah. So speaking of branding, have you ever branded anybody? What's your most insane story to hook the listeners in? What's something that has either happened or someone's asked for the craziest thing? I'll let you take the floor from here, Sienna.
Well, in 15 years, a lot has happened.
Yeah.
And I do get asked this question a lot.
Yeah.
And it always changes because things come into my mind. But I'd say in regards to one of the most craziest security ways and profile people, along with what I found when we got there, would be a friend of mine in a certain country. I won't mention because he's probably find out. Yeah. And he was clearly a very high profile person. And so my friend and I got blindfolded, put in a limousine.
Wow, reverse dominatrix.
Yeah, we signed an agreement, and we had waivers and everything like that, and he had to sign lots of things as well.
We're breaking that agreement now.
And there was a lot of security with us, so we were sort of surrounded, and then we get up to this, we drove for about an hour and a half, it felt like. And then we get there to this massive house, it's ridiculous. I can't even explain it. And there's literal snipers on the top of the roof. There's about 6 of them. Guns.
What?
Yeah, there's everything. And then there's literally there's just guards everywhere for us to get in.
So what was Buckingham Palace like?
Prince Charles was lovely.
And does Prince Andrew sweat?
Yeah.
You just got a little bit of lip here on your teeth.
No.
Other side.
This one?
Yep. Cool.
Gone?
Yep.
I couldn't see it.
It's going to keep
Delby's
happening.
good like that.
You know,
tells you when you smell. Tells you when you got.
It's going to keep happening. So let me know.
That's all right. Yeah. So you get there.
Yeah, we get there. Snipers, everything. Security's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We get led into this room. We have to then get into an elevator. And we go underneath. It feels like we're in the elevator for quite a long time.
Fuck.
And we're going down. And
wow.
I'm just looking at my friend, and we're just like, this is where it ends for us.
That's what I was
The
thinking.
money is just not worth it. But
underground.
we're going down. We're going.
Wow.
Down,
so you're going
so
down on him, but down into.
So the tunnels are real.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Exactly. That's why I won't mention what country. No.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So it was pretty extreme, but I was in my 20s at this stage, so I was kind of a little bit. I would never do it now.
Yeah.
But anyway, the money was ridiculous, so I thought, you know what, let's just.
Are you allowed to say how much?
So it was $25,000 Australian dollars for when you convert it into the things.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was for about we were there for maybe 6 hours, 7 hours. Now that kind of money is obscene, and you're not going to make that now. So if girls are thinking about getting into you're not making that now. But at that time, and the person involved as well, it was quite extreme.
Wow.
So I think the money was more to cover us for our mouths to keep quiet. And I still have never released who they were or anything like that. Yeah. And I've never really
probably for the best.
For my safety, yeah.
Well, I was about to say for your safety, if they're spending that much money on keeping you quiet, I'm sure they can keep quiet of something else.
Keep you quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wow.
Exactly.
And what better place to put it out on a public platform like a podcast?
But yeah, that was the most I've made in regards to the time and the one client. So that's probably one of my extreme in that regards. Yeah. But then when we got there, when we finally got into this room, it was this person, he was obviously covered. So he had obviously covered all himself. Like that's how much he was keeping himself private.
Yeah.
Wow.
And anyway, we got paid to just literally treat him like a puppy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like a furry?
Yeah, we had to give him dog treats.
Did he eat the dog treats?
Yeah, Pat. He did wheeze, and we said he was a good boy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so he was our puppy for that time.
Wow.
Gave him like belly rubs, tickles, let him.
Did he have a preference, like a Chihuahua, Jack Russell? I just didn't care.
I think he was small dog. Yeah. So the thing is, with like our clientele, most of them are very high, like powerful profile people.
Yeah.
Just kissed your microphone. And so most of them do want to take on a role of like nothing. Like they want to be absolutely nothing. Yeah. So I think he was probably envisioning a little crappy, not crap, but like a little Chihuahua.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the most bizarre in the sense that we did nothing. Like we did not earn that money except for our life being on the our lives being at risk. Besides that, we did nothing.
I'm so intrigued by this like underground aspect.
I think that was his dungeon. I think that's where he does a lot of his things like that.
Yeah, it was Dr. Harry.
It was.
Yeah. It was extreme.
It was Epstein.
it was so extreme.
Burke, Don Burke.
Yeah, I was saying Dr. Harry from Harry's Practice.
Yeah.
Smashing through it. Yeah, that's pretty cool, but I mean, and once it's done,
you leave.
And he can he see?
Yeah, he can see us, yeah.
Right. So
but we couldn't see him. He had like a puppy like mask on, and then you might see them sometimes here, like the dogs, they wear like the dog masks here.
Yeah.
Like something similar like that, but not as extreme. Yeah. And then he was like naked with like
an eyes wide shut style mask. You know, like these.
Or was it like a little puppy one? Like
there's like little ears and everything. Yeah.
So not like creepy, like almost.
No,
like childlike,
it was cutesy.
Almost like childlike creepy, like
no, it's cutesy.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, and they had like a little nappy on with like a little tail, and then his bits and bobs were hanging out.
Nice. You just to scare the fuck out of him. You should be like, all right, we're going to the vet. Time to get neutered. We're going to spray you.
So just do like bodyguards, whatever, sit around and just watch, make sure
nothing. No one was in the room once we got into that secure room. There was no one there.
And they just stay outside and.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was. Yeah. The doors. It seemed like the doors were quite thick, almost like panic room doors. So there was no handle. We got out via like codes and everything.
Was there a little doggy door for him to go through?
I think so. In the back there was.
Yeah. What's the feeling going into a room like that?
Honestly, I think for us, we were just in utter, like we were just like, if we make it out of here, this is going to be great. Fuck. If we don't, I mean,
So how do you get into a situation where you accept that job? Or is it halfway through the job you realize that?
Yeah, so we were at the time we were working for an agency. I haven't worked for an agency for about 10 years now. Yeah. But at the time we were for an agency. So from our perspective, we thought that was a regular client of the agencies. So we assumed he'd seen other girls. And so we kind of figured it was quite safe. But we didn't know the extreme of it. We didn't realize how many guns there would be on the property, and like
the dangers.
Yeah,
but
I just thought of this as a situation.
I think so. Yeah,
I just thought of this as a job, like for people who want to, indulge in sort of fetishes and being whipped and stuff. I don't know that we can go into this in more detail, but like that's all I picture it. But now I'm like, fuck, there's this whole other side that I haven't really considered. Like,
But do you think was this person? Did he have a wife? And
Okay,
so
and I'd say he's a high profile
from
family
there as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, fuck, it wouldn't just be getting out in public. It's like the missus knowing, the kids knowing. Because you can't just bring up to your missus, hey, you know how we like got married and shit.
Yeah.
I just want you to like whip me and let me piss.
Because sexual acts and stuff, is that like a big, explain. Is that a huge part of it, or is it a big part of it fetishes, or is it whipping? Is
Surely
it hurting?
It's control and power, right?
Yeah, so sex Not many dominatrix. I mean, I personally don't have intercourse with any of my slaves. Like, it's just something that I just don't
I love
do.
how you just call them my slaves.
Oh my God.
Is that vernacular?
Yeah,
That's
I would
so
call them my
fucking
slaves.
cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's just for me. I think once you do that, the power is different. You know, like my clients that I've had for years would love to have that experience, but it's just a big fat no. So for them, that's why they keep coming. Not literally, but they keep coming to see me because it's almost like that unreachable.
Yeah.
You know, like they want it, but they're not going to have it.
But is there coming involved?
For some, yeah, but I won't ever. The only thing that I manipulate is with my feet. Sometimes I'll do like foot jobs. Yeah. But hand-wise, milking can happen, but it's not in a sexual way. It's really hard to explain. Like it's almost like me being a gynecologist and seeing like female body form every day.
Yeah.
So it's not done sexually from my end. Yeah. For them, they might find it sexual, but.
Well, anytime someone touches your dick, it's pretty good.
Well, it depends. I mean, there's some
Wow,
sharp
actually,
objects that touch your penis.
On the table, we've got something that looks like a fucking chainsaw.
I am not looking
manual.
forward to seeing how some of these work, which I'm sure we're going to see
I actually
later.
quite like pain, so I don't mind. That little one with the spikes looks good for me.
We might have to swing that mic.
I want to.
Yeah.
We might have to do it on the floor there and swing that mic around and
for sure.
Drop your dart.
But what do you get out of this?
Money.
Financial,
Is that what it is? There's no you like the dominating side of things or the.
I really love my clients. I love my slaves in the sense that I appreciate them in all forms. I think any human being that is prepared to go out there and just explore parts of their kinks and fetishes, because I've got some that I would never explore because I'm just like, you know what, that just sounds way too weird. I'm going to keep that tucked away. But for these people,
like a puppy tail.
Yeah, got one right now. But yeah, so for me, I really admire my slaves, and I think as human beings, they're always super nice. And that going back to that job that we did, because we'd been doing it for a few years, most dominatrix clients are really good people. Like they've got a lot to lose. They're not there to hurt me. They're there to either be hurt, to be dominated, to be controlled. I think escort clients, that's where you're going to have a bit more issues because they're there for ego. They're there for you know, you're here for my
pleasure.
Yeah. So for me in the industry, I feel the most safest with slaves because, you know, one, most of them are tied up and they can't really get to me. Yeah, but two, they're just really respectful.
Is it a legal trade?
Here it's legal, yeah.
Really?
That's awesome.
I didn't even think about that as an idea. I didn't even think of it as a job.
Yeah. So like
I just thought of it as a way of living.
No, you can put it on your tax that you are a dominatrix, or you can put down your tax you're an adult entertainment. It's legitimate, like it's here, it's fine. There's some countries that have it's a bit of like a fine line because in some countries obviously escorting is illegal, but because dominatrix technically there's no sex involved, it's not actually illegal because it's just. I
think they just call it politicians in that. They just dominate us and tell us what to do, and if we don't like it, you get fucking punished.
Yeah,
but no, it's
a real
job.
Sneak them into Parliament House and then cover up the investigation.
So you've done this all of your adult life,
pretty much. Yeah,
and
20.
Right. So
out of professional life as well. Like, do you take it home?
No, I'm so different.
This is a
job. Yeah,
this is a
business.
Job.
Yeah. Wow. So you can have a lifestyle dom. And most lifestyle doms might not charge money. It's something that they get, like that's what they get off on, and that's a pleasure for them. But I'm an actual business dominatrix mistress, and I'm a kink fetish mistress.
So I didn't know that. I just thought you were someone who enjoyed
Oh, really?
dominatrix. Yeah. So
did you?
No, I didn't know that this was. That's cool.
I thought girls would only be doing this for the money.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think.
I actually just thought it was.
I thought girls would enjoy it, and they've learnt that they like enjoying it, so they've made money from it. I never thought what you thought.
I just thought it was like
there are girls like that. Like there's websites that are for free exchange.
But they'd be more dangerous as well, surely.
Yeah, you can get yourself.
And is there the other way around?
Yeah,
like
you
so
can be
guys
submissive.
Yeah, like so guys that even like
masters.
Yeah, but guy on guy as well. Like
yeah, I do a lot of that.
You do a lot of that.
I make so I get clients that are straight, married, whatever, and their fetish is to be forced to do stuff to another man.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But there's also masters that just advertise on not only paid sites but also for free exchange.
Have you ever looked into like, and maybe this is something we can talk to Chelsea about and another.
So Chelsea's a relationship
counselor, and she looks into that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever looked into that side of it? What the what the cause is, what
psychology
behind wanting to
yeah.
be,
Those
dominated.
situations, yeah. I mean, a lot of it to do is the fact that it's silence in their head. It's, most of these clients have a lot of stuff going on. They've got a lot of pressure. Like they're dealing with things that, some of them are ruling states and, they're doing a lot of things. And so for them, it's just silence. It's just remaining quiet and having all those noises and concerns taken away from them. So for them, that's, I think, majority for that clientele. Then you've got your kinks and fetishes.
That's just the gimp mask, though, isn't it? That's
deprivation. It's deprivation where you take their sound sight and everything away from them. But it depends what client. So foot fetishes, I think that comes from like deep-rooted mother issues. Some of them won't like me saying that, but I just think it is, because whenever I ask my clients where was their first foot, it's always like their mum rocking them, or like their auntie, like moving something around them and then being like, oh, that just kind of feels a bit tingly in areas. Whereas you might have looked at boobs for the first time when you were like 12. For them it was such a different thing for feet. So I think it has to do more of a maternal thing for
I mean, fetish. I'm into foot because my uncle put his toe on my bum when I was little. Well, they reckon that your kinks are developed, what's that age, between 6 and 12 or 13? That's why if someone gets molested by a guy and they're not gay, it develops some sort of kink later in life.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
like product of environment sort of thing?
Yeah, it's just one of the ways your brain develops. If it accidentally finds this kink where maybe you've like come as something's made you hard.
Yeah.
And it could be the most weirdest thing, rubbing your dick on a balloon. And then you later in life, it's like anchors this thought where balloons are a sexual thing. Yeah,
definitely. So. And I think even for our industry as well, we have girls that have been either sexually assaulted or raped, so they become either escorts to take that power back with their body, and same with dominatrix, they take that power away from men that have taken their rights away from them. I definitely think that everyone has a kink. Everyone has a fetish.
Yeah,
you just don't know what it is yet if you don't have one, or you might not know it's a kink because you might not have a sexual link to it. Yeah. But there's just something that kind of, you enjoy. Yeah. So I think every human being has one.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm looking at you being like,
I've got one in my head.
I know all mine.
I know. I think
I'm ready to explore more as well.
I'm not going to talk about mine. But
I already know yours, man. I'm going to share yours.
What do you think?
Hamstrings, baby.
I like how it looks.
And I think that he has a thing. He snapped his hamstrings a lot playing footy.
Right.
So he thinks that link is to the
because when you get your hamstrings back, you've got your control. I
love a good hamstring. I think like the hamstring area is the most attractive area on a woman's body for me.
And he loves coming on. He loves ham jobs.
That'd be quite difficult, but we could work on it.
Ham job.
Just
it's same sort of thickness.
You flip the knee back. You flip the leg back over. So like you're on your stomach.
Oh no!
Your hand back, and you've got a ham job. It's like a reverse. I've just made this up right then.
I'll put it in the books.
Yeah.
I'll put it on there for service.
No. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So that brings me, like you were talking about masters and guys. I feel like that would be way scarier for a girl to go to a dominating guy. Yeah. Because the power shift there is fucking insane. Yeah.
And I get a lot of female clients for that reason. Not because they're bi or gay. They just, they want to have that experience, but they're too scared to go to a male one.
Yeah. Surely, sorry to cut you off.
That's okay. For me personally, I don't know, like masters and me, there's a bit of a battle with me mentally. Like I just think that
their ego.
This is why I wear the mask, because people will come after me. I personally think that men don't have... They're submissive girls, but I just think that... I think masters are good for lifestyle choice, but when it comes to professional, I don't know. I just feel like men shouldn't really be making money off from women already doing what they do every day, like submitting to man and submitting to that society. But that's just me personally. But I do get a lot of female clients.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, if a girl wanted to have a master, they could hire someone like you to be in the same room to make it safe.
We do that. Yeah. And I have a few men that I completely respect. They actually don't really charge much because to them they agree the same thing. Yeah. It's something that they enjoy doing. Yeah. So we do that quite a lot. But it's hard to find that balance between masters and the right master. You have to find the right master as a submissive woman.
How do you vet your clients? Because that for me would be the biggest one. Like you get, even as a comic or even on our socials, you get with our Hard Yarns conspiracy stuff, you get a lot of people that are super into one sort of thing and you know, you're not really vibing. Do you have a vetting process, and what is that? You saying earlier that you're fully booked, so you don't take on anyone new anyway.
Not really, no. So when it first started, there's little things that you learn in the industry, the way they write to you, the way they ask you questions, the words they use as well is a big one for me. Like if they use disrespectful words, you're out. Yeah. If you can't show me respect in the first moment of getting in contact with me, you're not a part of it. Yeah. And you just kind of get a sense. So for me, I will never see clients that are, I guess, asking for a sexual thing that has nothing to do with fetish or kink. Yeah. So they're like, even if they want to come later on and say, okay, well, let's try this then. Yeah. I just know that it's going to be something they're going to push the agenda on. Yeah. But most of my clientele are word of almost like, I call it like a secret club when it comes to me. Yeah. So they will let me know, hey, I've got somebody that would really like to make a time with you. Yeah. And I will take their word that they're going to be the right ones for me. Yeah. But when you're just starting out, and let's say someone tomorrow wants to become a dominatrix and they go on the website, they put the ad up, you're just going to you have to learn how they speak to you. So one, if they don't write your name full, like if they don't put, mistress, whatever your working name is, to me, that's a big no. You're not coming to see me.
Because it's already disrespectful.
It's already done. Yeah, it's done. You can give them a chance and be like, you will now refer to me. And if they come back and they're apologetic and they give me money, like in my they veto me some money, totally fine. You can come. But
So sorry, I fucked up. Here's $100 for my disrespect.
Yeah. And some of them do that to get that push back. But I've been doing it for so long now that I don't tend to push back very much anymore because I'm like, but girls just starting out, definitely you push back and you're like, for your disrespect, you now owe me this much money.
That's amazing.
But yeah.
I fucking froth that. That's so cool, man. I wish I could do that with my students anytime they were disrespectful. Like, that's $50. Go and fucking have some time out in a non-sexual way. Like when they disrespect you, like, that's Mr. D. They're like, Delby. It's like, no, I don't know you. Mr. Delbrello.
From someone who had no idea about what this is, I just thought it was more about having sex.
Really?
But this is
you
not.
Are so dumb.
So that's more escorting, obviously.
Yeah.
No wonder you didn't want to really push to get her on back in the day.
Rude.
Yeah, well, I didn't know. This is,
you're really going to love it, bro.
It really intrigues me because I've always wondered where I've never been into choking.
Sorry for calling you dumb. So I was trying to do Antoine Dodson there. My bad.
Like choking in sex?
Oh, yeah.
I've never... it's never been a thing. I've had girls ask me to do it before.
Yeah, and I've never choking my hamstring.
I've never understood it. But it's on the same wavelength, I guess.
Yeah, of course, yeah. There's domination in regards to sex.
Because that's a different side of it. That's the sexual side of it, but they like to be dominated during that. So some people just like to be dominated, and it's part of their kink to be dominated.
Well, I feel like there's two reasons for that. There's one is the dominating aspect, but the second one, I don't know if this is old wives' table, maybe you can help, Sienna. If you're being choked, does that not increase the sensation and the orgasm because of blood flow?
Yeah, was that the same with the masturbation thing with the hanging?
Yeah, asphyxiation.
So over to you on that one. What do you know?
I think when it comes to choking, it can be physical, but I think for a lot of women, it is just the emotional. This day and age, it's really hard to find men who are in control because most people both have to work. So most incomes are both working. No one's really being looked after in regards to when it comes to a dominatrix submissive relationship. So when I speak to women who do like to be choked and like to be dominating the bedroom, it's usually comes from that. It's because it's almost like that's where they're getting that old fashioned, I'm the man, you're the woman. Yeah. You do as I say, you do as I, whereas it's very hard to get that in real life these days because there's lots of equality. Yes. I'm not a feminist. No, there's a lot of equality now, which I think can cause, I think a lot of women now are becoming more submissive because they're finding that they don't have that release during the day they're not being told what to do by their man. So sexually, I think submissive is definitely coming up. Like there's a lot more women who are getting more involved in.
So every time there's an uprising, like equality, chicks like, hey, not everyone.
I've never,
100%.
Wow.
I've never considered this at all. I've never even thought about being dominated. But now that we're talking about it, I kind of want to be dominated.
We can do that soon.
I don't know, like, okay, yeah. But I kind of like the idea is creeping into my head that I don't know about like getting whipped and shit, but being told.
I like when a girl takes control
yeah.
of sexual stuff. As long as we've built it up a connection. What I hate, and I sound like a piece of shit, but like if I'm at a gig and then a woman will come up and grab me and you're mine and fucking own me, I'm like, hang on, like
yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah. Well, like the worst one was at the after a show confessional. Like don't get me wrong, I love attention after doing a show. Like otherwise I wouldn't be doing it, right? But this group of girls came up and she was like, "We're getting you a drink now." And I'm like, "Look, I've just been on stage for 6 hours. Let me pack my stuff up, my equipment's here. I got some friends. Then I'll grab a drink with you." They're like, "No, you're coming now." And I was like, "Dude, like, I'll get a drink with you. Just let me." And she's like, "No. I was like, all right. And I went to the bar, and then she was just like so overpowering and so fucking like disrespectful. Yeah, I think is the term. I know she wanted my attention, but it was just like I was drinking with my left hand. She's like, "Buffalo." I'm like, "What?" She's like, you know, "Buffalo, you're drinking with the wrong hand." I'm like, "I'm driving. I'm having this drink. Like, I'm not fucking 18, you know?" And then she's like, "No, fuck those off." I'm like, "They're my friends." So, like, to be dominated like that, I fucking hate it. But if I
don't know if I call it dominating. I think that's just plain
rude.
Yeah, rudeness.
Yeah, I mean, domination comes from massive respect for both parties. Yeah. Like, when I say to girls who want to learn, if you think being a dominatrix is grabbing a whip, beating the shit out of your slave, you're so wrong, because you have to have a really loving sort of like, if I'm going to dominate a man in my personal life, not that I ever would, it'd be because I respect them. It's like, you know what? Like, you are a man. You are like the big D, and I'm going to try and own you. Yeah. If I'm looking at you like, you know what, you're mine, you can use whatever hand you tell it doesn't come from the same place. It doesn't have that same power. It doesn't have that same oomph of like, damn, you are controlling me right now. Yeah. And the same with me with my clientele. Like, and I don't think that they're piece of shits, even though I tell them every day. It's all they hear from me.
It's not what you said, it's how you said it.
Exactly. It came from a loving place. Yeah. I respect them, and you know, I think in lifestyle dominatrix and submissive, it's so hard to find because men don't realize to be dominating, you have to be dominating in all areas. If you're not paying for your misses left, right, and center, if you're not spoiling them, you don't get to then have them on their knees. Yeah. That is a true dom-sub relationship. It is literally spoiling your little brat, your little princess, to the point that you then get to say on your knees. Yeah. And a lot of men who say, "Oh, I'd love to dominate you," it's like, yeah, but what are you bringing other than telling me to get on my knees or telling me to sit down or shut up? What do you give me?
That's so good.
So without that, and that does not happen a lot these days. It's so hard to find. So whenever I hear men saying, "Oh, I'm a dom," I'm like, are you, or do you just think you just feel entitled?
So going mainstream, what was like 50 Shades of Grey? What's that?
Oh my goodness. The worst, no.
Yeah, but what is that in regards?
That's lifestyle dom.
That's lifestyle dom, okay.
Yeah.
And that's sexual.
When you
that's a lifestyle dom and sub relationship.
When you say lifestyle dom, is that just like without being paid for it, it's just somebody that is winning making all the money, so the other person's submissive because they're dominating all parts of that person's life?
So lifestyle dom is just more that there's no money in sense of an exchange of job or service. It's their life is revolved around being a dom and stuff. Obviously there's times out, like they'll go to work, they'll do their thing, they'll cook, they'll love, they say love each other, but the lifestyle comes from that they both know their place in the relationship. And a lot of women who seek that, or a lot of men who seek that, you have to have some kind of control, not just emotionally. Obviously financial control is extremely abusive, just FYI. Yeah. But when there's two participating parties, that's what they get off on. Yeah. That's what it's meant to be. Not just financial, but emotional, like making sure they drink water. So a lot of doms will message their princess and be like, have you drunk water today? And if they're like, no, they're like, they'll send them water. They'll send an Uber with like water. Because that is a true dom. You've got to take care of your person if you want to then control their whole life.
Yeah.
So,
but that's if they want that, right? Because for other girls, that's just fucked up.
Yeah, of course. It comes from a certain lifestyle.
Because you grimaced when I mentioned 50 Shades of Grey, almost like it's a bad representation or a poor representation of what it's really like.
Yeah.
What are not maybe the myths, but what are the differences in what you've seen in that movie as a mainstream
that's a pretty good question.
way of living and what it actually is like?
Yeah.
And I mean, it might be, 50 Shades might be really realistic for some people, but when it comes to the profession of it, it's not realistic at all. So we had a lot in that movie, like we had a lot of clientele, like a massive more normal people that would never go into this.
An influx of clients.
Yeah, because they kind of thought that it was that really sexy, and it can be sexy.
Yeah.
But you have to pick your right mistress, obviously. I do like a lot of kink and fetish, and I don't do like a lot of the sexual side of things. Like I'm not going to have sex with you while choking you out, and like that's just not what I do. There are mistresses that do that. So you got to find the right mistress, I guess. But dominatrix, there is like, when people say to me like, what is it? Spanking and whipping is literally 1%, and it's literally like the beginning of it. You got to realize that the box goes all the way down, and what goes into that is so much, like everything. Anything that doesn't involve around sex pretty much could be considered a kink or a fetish. Yeah. So
how did you how did you get into it? Because you have to learn all this. You don't just go into being a dominatrix knowing this. So you've picked this up. You've done an apprenticeship on your own.
No.
Or did you have a guidance?
So I worked for a headmistress in London.
Did you have to treat her like your slaves treat you?
I had to really respect her, and I had to do about maybe 6 weeks free. So I had to show her that I respected the industry. I respected what she was teaching me. In Australia, they don't do that.
Yeah.
But why did you get into
Aussies, man? We don't fucking respect anyone.
What was the step into that world?
So I was doing modelling at the time, and the photographer was like, you have really nice feet. Don't look at my feet right now. They're not painted. My nails are all being chipped off from clients chipping at the toes. They're off camera. But he was like, you have really nice feet. Can I take a picture of them? And I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't really care. Like my boobs were out. I was doing like loaded magazines at the time. And
what's a loaded magazine?
It's like it's almost like
FHM
FHM Ralph as well here, yeah. And he took some pictures, and then in my bank account from when he paid, like they paid me and stuff, there was an extra like £500, and I was like, which is about $1,000, I guess. And I was like, oh, what's the five? And he's like, oh, I sold your feet pics to like he called them like one of my associates. And the guy paid, so he took quite a few. I think he paid like £50 or £100 for like a photo. And and I was just in my bank account, and I was like, oh, right, okay. And then from him.
What a good bloke to do that.
Super nice. He could have taken himself. So from there, he kind of gave me more clientele, like a few more jobs here and there. And then that's where I met. I went to a dungeon and I asked him some stuff. And the headmistress there was like, she just liked what I had to bring. Yeah. And she offered to train me up in all the extreme things that I don't even think Australia is allowed to do.
Like what?
Well, we did a lot. One, you can do asphyxiation. Well, you're not supposed to, but you do asphyxiation over there. Here, you really shouldn't do it because there's not much insurance here. So if you kill someone, you're going to jail.
Asphyxiation to a point of which it's that dangerous that if you kill someone.
It's really dangerous to do things. One, that's why I say a lot of people who just don't have any training, I think is insane because you're literally you're just guessing. So you learned asphyxiation. I did a lot of electrical work. I did needle work, so blood drawing and.
So hang on, we can't just gloss over electrical
work. This isn't like this isn't like a strip show where it's just all tongue in cheek and a little.
No, bro.
You're talking like electrocuting.
Yeah. This is like Guantanamo Bay, but for sexual. Some guys, do you reckon some people just put themselves up for Guantanamo Bay just to get the fucking dominator?
The water torture.
Electrical work, so you've got obviously not as brutal as like two broken
it's like
wires.
Little voltages to your nipples, to your testicles. You can have it like a wand down your urethra with a bit of voltage.
Oh my Lord.
So that will give like a bit of a
Why
tingling.
Why do they want that in the urethra? Why?
It's just an extra thing. A bit of.
Does it feel good?
Let's find out.
Oh, fuck.
Well, have you had anything pushed up your urethra? You know what that is, right? Your piss
I'm
hole.
trying to
A catheter
think. I've
would
never
probably
had
be-
like a swab or anything, so no, I've
It's
never.
not enjoyable.
No.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't generalize. For some people, it is.
Well, it
But
must be if they're putting a fucking rod up
Yeah.
there.
Well, this is where it
With
gets
electricity.
A bit tricky. No, it's where it gets tricky because the word pleasure and enjoyable it doesn't really come across some of the clients. Like I got one client that I literally stomp on once a week for the last 6 years.
wow.
Stomp on their dick and balls.
No, so they lie on the floor and I literally walk all over them in like 6-inch eels and I just go it to town. And
That sounds
I'm
kind of-
jumping on him. So I've got chains above me and I'm holding. And we usually have 3 girls to 2 girls on him. He's like not a big dude. He's quite like just a normal guy. And to think about his organs, like what we're doing to his organs, but he's completely fine. Like he does MRIs, like I think every 2 years.
Wow.
But when I say to him, like, is it pleasurable? Like, is this? And he's like, it's not. It's such a hard word to describe for them. It's not like what we feel pleasure when we're like having sex and stuff like that. It's like it's almost like I guess for people who get tattoos who enjoy that pain.
Masochism.
Yeah, maybe
It's
like
where you get like a strange
like a
pleasure from
high.
pain. I get the same thing. Like Chinese burns, I like. Ulcers in my mouth, I like that pain.
You like
Yeah, I like
ulcers in your
ulcers.
mouth? Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
like
Like, I
ulcers.
I don't think we can do a podcast together anymore. That is my number one hate.
Yeah. I like all
hate
those
it
like
so
those
much.
little
Oh,
paintings.
no.
Really?
I would think that people walking on my back would feel good, man. But I'm just worried about my spine. Like that's like a shiatsu massage.
Well, I
for
don't
me,
mind
but
people-
not
Well, don't go on your
stomping.
spine. Yeah.
I don't mind people walking on. I've had that before, but
Yeah.
like, as in, it was a massage.
Well, they're on
And-
their back as well.
and they're
so
not
they're
wearing
chest.
fucking
Oh.
stilettos.
Hang on.
Not doing back. No, you're doing.
Oh, so you're
front.
stomping on him from the front.
That's
That's insane. Well, it's not insane.
Well,
It's
either
what he's
way-
into,
either
but
way.
fuck.
Yeah.
So is that a power thing for him? Like he likes being.
Yeah, he likes to be just nothing. We spit, we golden shower, we
Wow. What was that like your first time? Because
Golden shower?
yeah, like some people struggle to pee in front of other
Yeah.
people.
so what's that? That's just pissing on someone.
Yeah.
yeah. Then there's brown shower, which I just got a message this morning, which I don't do.
Yeah.
I do not do brown showers. That's where I draw the line when it comes to body
Yeah.
fluids.
Yeah. Oh, I thought just brown people were racist. No.
So you won't. So you'll piss on someone,
but I
you
won't shit on
but
someone.
won't shit on someone.
Yeah, yeah. But golden shower, I think it was fine. I think I just like looked up and just kind of closed my eyes and
Yeah.
it's just so easy. I never look at the face. It really puts me off when I look at the face.
Because
Like,
they're loving it, or they're just like.
it's just really awkward when you're
Yeah.
kind of taking a wee and like there's just like this face looking up at you.
Yeah.
It's just
It's like when a dog
and their
pisses all
eyes
the
are like
time.
splat, like like they're trying
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
get the wee out of their eye, and you're just like, oh god.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind golden showers. I can wee like 20 times a day, like just
Wow.
on the spot.
Well, if you need water, I'll send some in an Uber. in an Uber.
So it should be done. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
That's great.
That's
So
it. So, but okay. So, do they? Is it just weeing on? Do they like drink it? Is there any? They do.
Yeah,
that was a nod.
they'll use it for
Branchy's
lubrication.
freaking out here for people listening. His
This is
face,
just like-
he's completely freaking out.
This is. It's totally. I'm totally removed from that way
Yeah.
of thinking.
Yeah.
I like again. I do have that sort of side of me that there's a part of me that likes the idea of being dominated, but not in that.
But that's like I
aspect.
said,
and
there's so many
sexually,
different.
not
yeah.
like not in life.
Yeah,
for
but
no
that's like,
reason.
but that's what I mean. There is so many different little avenues.
Mm.
I can see one client where I'm literally tying him to the roof and leaving him there for an hour. That's his kink. That's
Wow.
his fetish. And then I go to another one whose kink is to wear like nappy and do baby play for them to just be a baby for like an hour.
Yeah.
And then the other one is doing golden showers while I stomp on their chest.
And these are just people that we would walk by at IGA.
maybe not IGA, maybe like a
Myers.
Claremont area.
Yeah.
Oh, it's,
Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah.
She's a high. She's a.
Yeah, it
but
depends who you talk to.
What I mean is like just normal people.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like I see a lot of high profile now, but yeah, there's still blue collar.
Because they're not people you'd look at them and go, oh, that guy is fucked up.
I
And
mean-
I know that guy's fucked up.
I've seen a lot of principals, a lot of teachers, I've seen a lot of like, so the jobs that usually come in play are obviously like the engineering, mining, politicians, sports people, anyone with a high profile. When it comes to normal jobs, finance, teachers, principals, and yeah, like I don't get many trade. I think I got like a few tradies, but very rare will I
Yeah.
get like a normal tradie guy.
Do you think that's part of that personality trait? Like to be a tradie is a certain.
pretty
Well, you-
easygoing?
yeah.
Like they got no stress anyway.
And
well,
you're considered pretty manly.
That's what I mean.
Anyway,
you'd
so-
probably want to be the.
But I mean, that's probably, I don't even know what I'm saying there.
Yeah, fuck. I don't
even
know
if you are considered manly and powerful,
that's who's
half
coming
the
to us.
Yeah, that's who's coming here.
And with pegging as well, like we get a lot of pegging when
it's in vogue, isn't it?
Pegging.
Yeah.
So that's you putting a strap on.
Yeah, there's two types. So there's pegging where you just use your hand and you're just like literally pegging them up there. Or there's you can wear a strap on, which is also form pegging.
So which do you choose if you need to find 30?
To be honest, I'm so lazy now.
Yeah.
Please no one book me. No, I use my hand because to strap up is so hard. It's just, you can't get, it takes, I don't know how you guys do it. It's a lot of ab work.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have the time anymore. Yeah.
When I have sex once a year, it's a workout.
And to be honest, I don't want to be that close to my client. Like I love them dearly, but I don't want to be that close to them. I don't want my bits and bobs being that close. So I'm really lazy and I just use my hand.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't matter for the dude if he's enjoying how it feels as well as the power imbalance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a massive thing, man. The last 3 girls that I've hooked up with or had any kind of
relations,
they want to peg me. I don't know
got a pegging face.
I must, man. I don't know.
Really?
What it is. Yeah.
What, they've just brought it up. They want
to. So... Don't know what it is. I have no desire to be pegged, you know?
And in my personal life, I would never peg a dude. Like I just, to me, again, it changes that power play.
Yeah. If it felt like
what
incredible,
is it about you though? 3 girls.
I don't know, bro.
Straight away go, they want to peg you. Do you have a nice bum?
Well, one of them was, she was the one from the one that's like Buffalo. No, it wasn't.
Are they bi girls? Sometimes bi girls like to peg quite a bit.
Yeah, one was. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So I find that, they like to peg.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What was I going to say? But you've learned on the job. So you had your madam, teacher.
Yeah.
Because like you walk in, you do your 6 weeks for free.
Mm-hmm.
Then, man, I mean, you tell your friends, your family for safety, for yourself.
So no one knows?
No one in my life knows except for now after working for 15 years.
Yeah.
Does anyone know now? And that's in the last 2 years because the industry changed. Like a lot more people are not so judgmental.
Yeah.
They don't. There's a bit more. I guess 50 Shades of Grey did a little bit of that. They did a bit of good.
Yeah, normalised it
They
or like
normalised
mainstreamed it a bit.
Yeah, and more people spoke about their kinks and fetishes and things like that. So the adult industry's come a long way. So I am able to speak up to some people and be okay.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm still really private because I want to keep my personal life and work life very separate.
Yeah.
For future things, for children's and their things, I want to keep it very like something that I can go away from. I do all these things, podcasts and things like that, because I want to represent the girls that are in this that aren't. It's not that I'm saying that girls who tend to write books usually come from a bit of damage. They usually talk about the really dark side. They usually take drugs. They show a lot of that side. And when I read it, I get quite, I feel misrepresented because I don't do any of those things. I am a mum. I'm very like vanilla.
Because of course there is that side of things, I'm sure. And that's one end of the spectrum. But that's it, like in anything, there's obviously extremes in both directions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's good. Like, it's funny you say that. It's a message from the universe for me today. There was a reel that Jared Thomas put up. And I was saying, whenever people have made it or they're going anywhere, they always talk about where they've come from and how hard it was and they overcome the struggle and they hold on to that. But reality is, from this point forward, you write your own book. You don't have to keep saying, I've come from there. So for you to say that just then really resonated.
Yeah.
But that's good as well that you're willing to come and represent a different side of things with, 2 fucking idiots.
I think it's important
hate mandates.
to show more.
I'm
not mandates either. But yeah, it's just to show people that not all of us have come from trauma.
Yeah.
And some of us just because money, finances, and we don't want to be ruled by people telling us when we can take holidays and things like that.
Yeah, that's so good. That's a hard yarn story, bro. That's working for yourself. You don't have to do a 9 to 5. Doing what you love. I assume you love it.
Working 9 to 5 to working 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I guess. So while we're talking about the dark sort of stuff, have you experienced any or had close friends in the industry that have been had some very dark things happen to them? Yeah,
it definitely happens, but very rarely in Australia. We are super lucky here, especially in Perth. But you get some when it comes to dominatrix, I haven't had really anything bad. I've had annoying clients, like just annoying wankers that I just want gone. Because they don't, they want to keep pushing. So they want to like try everything. They want to like keep going. And it's like, you've only got an hour. I can only fit so much. If you want to book me longer, that's fine. But I tend to not let them extend because I've just had enough of them. But some of my girlfriends, like they've had clients, you know, get too high. Or take too much drugs. And when that happens, it's really dangerous. Some girls, I don't do drugs, I never have, never will. And I definitely recommend girls to never take drugs when they work. But obviously they're grown adults, they choose to do that. But if you do, it definitely puts you in more of a danger. So when people ask me if I've ever had something wrong, never, because I'm always in control. I've never taken anything from the client. I've never done it. I'm always sober. I'm always right on the ball. And I'm not saying that the girls who do drink, that's their fault if something does happen, but it just does increase your chance of something happening.
It's like if you're operating heavy machinery and you're drinking. More risk.
Well, I've had a friend had a gun pull on her and another girl on a booking, and then they shoved them in a closet and we had to go get them out.
Did they I guess the client, did they not realize that that's not part of dominating, or
was that something that they were doing?
Or did they?
It was just they were just they were so completely far gone, and they were part obviously of a circle, and they were a bit paranoid. So because they were doing some, I guess, pegging, man on man action. So what happens is when they flip back into the real world, they realize what they're doing. There's a lot of shame. So I think they became a little bit angry at the situation and wanted to turn it on them and be like, well, you made us do this stuff. And it's like, no, you guys were doing it.
Do you offer any counselling services or anything like that?
I am a full bloke. No, well, I mean, we are like counsellors to our clients. Like, I mean, we've saved marriages upon marriages. Like, I've saved men that want to kill themselves because they found me and now they have me as an avenue.
Wow.
I've had men that want to leave their wives. Like, they were on the verge. That was it. They were done. They're out the door. And then they come see us and it's like, you know what? I can now love my wife solely, care for my children, and then come here to me and release that kink that they've got.
Scratch the itch.
that's
And not
an
feel
incredible way of thinking. Because again, taking away the sexualization of it and more the actual just outlet in other avenues, that's it really does make sense.
Do the guys do it secretly or do they tell their wives?
I've had some women who control their husbands via me.
Wow.
So their husbands have had the conversation with their wives, but most of them are really secretive. I try and have a moral compass when it comes to who I accept with my clientele. I try and give the woman some respect in the sense of like, I've said no to clients after a while if I find out their wife's pregnant. So I think that's not fair. If I find out that, their wife is actually doing their kinks and fetishes, I'm like, well, they're doing their job. You need to go to your wife. And I've become friends with some wives that like we control their husbands together. But there is a lot of secret side, and it is for me personally why dating's so hard for me, because I just know how easy it is for men and women to cheat without getting caught.
Absolutely. So I mean, would that does? I was thinking like I think we were chatting before, like knowing what guys are like. That would surely impact your personal relationship.
100%.
Just like, fuck, man, I've seen you before. I know you shouldn't judge books by the cover, but I've seen this type of person. I've seen this type of person. You've probably seen a Branchy, a me before. So you're just like, I've got your fucking. I always think that with strippers as well. Strippers know how to talk to dudes. I've seen the dudes. They deal with fucking idiots all the time. They're actually the best chicks to hang out with because they know. They cut through the bullshit. They know what you're about. And they just see the ease it is to control.
Oh, when I was young, I fell in love with strippers many a time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here you go. More.
I was like, we got a connection.
Yeah, we got a connection. I'm going to get you out of this place.
We get asked to be saved all the time. It is really hard. Like, especially, I think for me personally, dating now in 2022 is absolutely fucked. I mean, you've got men that will just be like, what you doing? And it's like, I've got men offering me like $1,000 just to like look at them, and you're just telling me what you're doing. Like, it's just a big no for me. Not that I expect a man to treat me differently, like it's just there's that level of respect that just seems to not be there in the dating world, because it literally is just a flick on the app and you can just if I'm saying no to you, just flick along and you'll get somebody else. So I find it really hard in regards to kind of leave a bit of my persona, my work persona into my dating life. So I'm like, hold up. Like,
do you like any of the aspects for your own personal life? For example, like minor stuff, would you like being scratched or like
Do I
lightly,
like
yeah,
being
lightly
submissive?
bitten or like you know,
Yeah.
like that sort of
Yeah.
strong.
But they're not doing it to her.
Yeah, that's
in a
I know.
professional
I
life.
know.
Oh, do I like to flip
Yeah.
this? Oh, yeah, 100%. In my personal life, I'm submissive. In my working life, I'm dominating. But in my personal life, I try really hard not to be too dominating because then I feel like I'm shifting into work life. I've had plenty of men.
You don't want to bring work home with you.
No.
No, that's what I mean. Like, do
Yeah.
you like the guys not to be dominant on you, but like a little bit more
No,
aggressive?
I want them to
and
be dominant on
yeah,
me.
Yeah, you do.
Just for a
Yeah, I
nice
don't want to
change.
think. I don't want to think because I think at work and I have to think for your life. I have to think about your safety. I have to think about what my next move is to keep you in game, like, in my role. So when I go home, if I've got a man or a woman, whatever, and they're like, okay, now control me. It's like, I'm tired.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't want to do that. And
That's my job.
yeah. So I've had a few clients who've asked me out and I've always said no, but I said yes to one client in like 15 years, never before. And it wasn't until I got to that moment where it was going to move sexually and I just had this image of the stuff I've done to him and I'm just like, and it's not that I'm judging. It was just really hard for me to see him in a very attractive sexual, even though it was very attractive, everything was ticking the boxes, but I knew what he liked and I didn't want to do it in my personal life.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, lesson learned.
Yeah. I was going to say, I like go full back for that chick that was hell aggressive.
I really have an issue with her.
No. You reminded me what the point of that was. But if I've met a girl and we're getting along, I like when they take control because now that power dynamic in 2022, fuck me, man. You get put up, you get hung out to dry if you read the situation wrong.
Yeah.
So I like the girl to just grab my dick or like whatever it is
100%.
and just show me, all right, this is okay.
Yeah.
But I know girls want it the other way, but it's such a fucking minefield now.
Yeah. But you can be submissive. Like even though I'm submissive in my personal life, I'm still I'm still in control because I'm considered like a brat and I'm considered like a princess, let's say, not in regards to how Perth girls are princesses. I mean like an actual lifestyle princess.
Yeah.
So if I want to touch my person, I'm touching them because I'm going to get away with what I want to get away with.
Yeah.
So I don't think like some people think you have to just be either submissive, which means you're on the floor just like lying there expecting the man to do everything, or you're dominatrix, meaning you are always kind of initiating. But there really is a really nice balance, which is what I like, a nice balance of being controlled mentally, emotionally, but also having the power to do what I want to my man.
Yeah.
If I want to take them, if I want to do it, if I want to go to their work and be like, you have to be in your bathroom in like 10 minutes. That's still me being controlling, but I'm still submissive because I'm kind of servicing my man. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So there's like a hard thing, like, which is why I think I'm good with dominatrix because I have that mindset in my personal life. So I know what my clients kind of like.
Speaking of which, should we do something to Branchy?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Are you, as long as you're getting stuff done.
You go
so
first.
I'm just going to let you know. So obviously I explained the equipment that I use is quite high, like pretty extreme. This stuff is your G-rated first time sort of stuff that you can kind of get a feel for.
So what have we got on the table? Let's go through a few things.
The R-rated stuff after the G-rated.
We got a big spoon.
This is a paddle, big spoon, yeah. So this one is good because you can really isolate where you want the pain to be.
Fuck.
So when you have like these ones.
This is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
That one, yeah, okay.
So this is like a little one, but it does give a good
tassels.
whip. But this is a good one because it kind of expands your pain.
Yeah.
And also for a ticklish thing as well. It's
For
quite
people
sexual.
listening, it's a cat of nine tails, what do they call it? Or it's just like a whip with like 9 or 10.
It's honestly the most G-rated one I could find from my little thing.
I like
We'll
this
get
one. This one
text to
looks
film this as well, and we'll figure it all out.
Okay.
But
Do we need to press?
yeah.
got it,
What? So what do we?
It's a pinwheel.
Yeah.
So this will go on your testicles, balls.
Oh, shit.
Okay, we're
your
not
dick.
doing that.
Yeah,
I'm in.
So this can go down, like I can put that, like poke that down your urethra.
What?
And then I kind of just go all the way down. I was going to bring a wand, but they're quite, quite extreme. But but you can just feel this on your hand. It doesn't really quite hurt.
Yeah, we'll run that on that.
But
I reckon that'd feel nice on the balls.
but on your...
Oh no! That hurt the hand.
I'm doing it, man.
You're gonna do balls?
I'm gonna buy one.
Yeah. Okay.
This is quite good. It's almost like having a girl with long nails and just kind of going down your...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll do the...
I won't do my balls on camera because I'm still employed by the education department.
Okay.
However,
And then what else?
This is what we're going to put on your face.
What is
Right.
it? Oh, it's a gimp.
Bring out the gimp.
Oh, fuck.
We got the ball.
This is
Are we
also
doing
this is also
Yeah.
G-rated one, so you can get ones with like spikes on the inside. You can get ones
God.
with like chains.
Okay, if we can't hear me, let's...
All right.
How do
So,
I do some?
so yeah, pop that off. And I'll commentate.
Okay, so you might be able to hear me a bit over here, AW.
that's good.
Yep, cool.
Yeah.
So, okay, what am I doing? Do we need to change that camera? Am I getting down on my knees? What am I doing?
So we're going to put the gimp mask on now.
You can go on your knees and then you can get on all fours.
Okay, where, here? Or here?
Okay, on your knees.
People listening, we're just putting Branchy on his knees.
Yeah,
Put your knees.
on my knees.
How do I zoom
Get
out?
text to do it. You can't zoom. Get text.
God, if someone walks in right now, it's going to be a bit.
My mate's going to walk in and drop off the hard yards sign. So
Oh no.
I think it is. Oh, great timing. Just as we're putting Branchy in a gimp mask with a ball, our mate Yatesy
I can't
from
see anything.
House is dropping off our hard yards.
I can't see anything, and I've never met this Yatesy
You've
guy.
never- yeah, just keep it on because you won't meet Yatesy.
That way.
What am I walking into?
How are ya?
Fucking legend,
I'm
bro.
just going to keep going, okay?
Okay, so
Live.
look, oh,
Open your mouth.
oh, well, that's just my mouth doesn't open very well.
Oh,
can watch this
We'd have
for
to
a
work on that then.
Okay, no, you need
oh.
to get on the mic.
Yeah, so I'll be on the mic. So
If you
Branchy's.
were mine, I would literally be working on your mouth to open up nice and wide.
I can't. Oh,
It will.
We've got Branchy with a gag in his mouth. Are you alright, Branchy? What's the safe word?
it hurts a little bit.
Pineapple.
Hurts a little bit.
Okay, pineapple.
But Hersley would just put it down.
Okay,
As long
yeah.
as you're not paying to
Yeah.
be hurt.
No, it's all right.
No, on your all fours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are we filming this? Oh! What are we doing? Oh, you can go harder than that. Oh! Oh, fuck! No. Oh, shit.
So she's got a pretty strong hand.
Holy shit. What was that? Was that the spoon?
That was a spoon.
Can you hear me a little bit?
Can
Yeah.
you what?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
This is your G-rated whip.
So now we're going for the whip, guys. Oh, snap! Oh, how
That was good.
that's good.
Oh, it's your ball back.
I had to just get a little with your ball. I'm sorry.
Oh, everything else back.
I got a good aim. I've got a
He
good
said he
aim.
got hit in the ball sack.
Oh,
What do you
fuck.
want?
All right.
wanna
So
say this
Are
one?
you getting this on story, girl?
yeah, should we?
Do you want me to whip it for the story?
Okay, what else are we doing?
So
Swap your bits out.
No.
Let's do the pin
You're-
well.
I wouldn't swap my bits out.
I'll go the
You don't like that.
yeah. I'll swap in for the pinwheel.
Yeah, we'll
if you
swap
want.
in for the
But
pinwheel.
you've already had the ball in your mouth, so
Yeah.
I'll
Is there something else?
It's alright. You can put the thing.
yeah. Okay,
You
so
want to do the pinwheel on your back?
Yeah, let's do it.
that'll feel good, I reckon.
Yeah, it's
I'm
just a back
pretty-
tickle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm tempted to do it on my ball, man. But
This
we
is
just
light.
can't have the.
A little bit harder.
Maybe if I.
That is literally really light.
Oh, I'm not doing fine. Oh, God.
I'll do the ball one if we censor it out, or put it on Patreon. All right, you all good?
I'm all good.
All right. So
This is G-rays I can do.
Can I take this off?
plot twist. I'm out. We only have enough equipment for Branchy, so no,
All right. So,
I'm getting pegged. I'm about to get pegged.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, so first time that Branchy's meeting Yatesy from Glowhouse. He's done the
Glowhouse.
fucking dopest LED.
Nice to meet you. Fuck.
So when you see the video, it'll be good.
I don't know how that sounded audio-wise, but
Well, we've got the video.
okay. Fuck. That,
I really want to do the pinwheel on my nuts,
Okay.
but I don't. I'm a little bit worried about the education department. Yeah, that's probably a fair call, hey?
yeah. No, it's good.
So do they usually have a little scream like Branch just did?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
obviously I'll be cursing abuse at you, but
Yeah.
I mean, that is literally like if someone said to me, listen, I'm a beginner and I want to come just have a little like taster, I'll usually do like the paddling, whipping, bit of foot fetish. I think foot fetish is always really good to just kind of like open up some people's mouths that you need to work on.
Yeah, well, and all of my friends know this. I could. This is my joke that I could never be gay because that's as fucking far as I can open my mouth. I could not fit a dick in my mouth.
Well, your asshole on the other hand.
I can receive.
Yeah.
No, look.
We've got strap-ons all sizes.
Yeah, right.
That will fit. One will fit in there.
What's that from?
I've just never been able to open my mouth like wider than 2 fingers.
Jeez.
Okay.
Fucking hell. Stop it. You're turning me off.
That's why I couldn't fit that in. But
I should've got one
okay,
back.
so we'll talk. Can we talk about what I liked?
Sure. Yeah. Let's.
I liked the whip.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Felt good.
All right. I'll get whipped real quick just so I've been on the same.
Yeah.
I don't want your balls in my mouth.
Yeah.
Your ball gag.
And then do the thing. Do the spiky thing on your
Yeah. All right.
Do the spiky thing. I'll
Do I have to call
Okay.
you madam and mistress?
So
Mistress Sienna.
Yeah.
I've been a bad boy. Punish me.
I'm going to aim though.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
couple of good whips there with we got the Nine Tails whip on Delby.
So like for women and stuff.
Yeah.
Usually like for women we do more of like the sensual.
Yep.
With then like so we try and mix it. I mean I can do sensual with men as well, but it's sort of you guys don't deserve it. And then if you want to like whip your
scrotum.
yeah.
Thank you, Mistress Sienna.
Good boy.
This is
Bad boy and I deserve this.
okay. So we're getting the little pin thing on Delby here.
Penis.
It's it's not.
This is light though. This is gonna just feel nice.
Okay. You like that? It's running down your spine. Oh, I don't know about that. It's like pins. She was barely touching it on me and I couldn't take it.
A little bit harder. There you go.
Oh, he took that like a man.
Yeah. This is like a beginner one. You can get ones that are extreme.
Yeah.
So you gotta just depend what you like.
Oh,
Get a
wow.
pedal.
Yeah. Oh, this one's going to hurt the big spoon. Ooh. Oh.
I'm off good luck.
Cooking with Delby.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank
fuck.
you, Mistress Sienna.
Good boy.
Okay.
I enjoyed that.
Whew. I don't know what that was like audio-wise, but video-wise, that's...
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I'll
and then,
send you
yeah.
the bill later.
Okay. Yeah, we just had $1,000 worth of work.
And we just had yeah, sorry. First time I've met fucking Yatesy and I've got a gimp. Oh, I can't see his face and I've got a fucking ball in my mouth and a gimp mask on. Zip. Hello. That's the jump into hello.
So Yates is a mate of mine from back in the day. I actually married him to his beautiful wife.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That's nice.
So still together, going strong? Yeah, thank fuck. Otherwise I just brought up a kid on the way. Congratulations.
Yeah, well done. He's just made us a beautiful neon sign as well.
Yeah.
Sorry to detract from the actual episode. Thing it's all happening.
Really exciting.
But yeah.
So thanks for the G-level stuff. That's
It's all
great.
right. You did well.
Okay, so
Is that how you should act? Was I a role model citizen, or do I need to beg more and grovel
I'd usually
more?
put my foot on my heel on your head. Make sure your
Ooh.
head's all the way down. Put a bit of pressure there.
I like that.
So if you get pressure, then you can't really, you lose a bit of sensation a little bit.
In like your head.
Yeah. So then when I'm spanking you, it'll feel a bit different.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wonder how, I'm probably playing it up there a little bit, like the screaming and having fun with it because
Good
it's an
that you meant to.
it's an entertainment style thing. But for me, pain, I actually have quite a high pain threshold.
That's what you think until Miss Sienna has a fucking...
Yeah, exactly. But because I'm trying to have fun with it and play with it, I'm probably just like, the pins were hurting a little bit, but I feel like maybe if I was actually hiring you to do that, it would be like, hurt me.
Yeah.
You get that sensation with the spoon. I actually wanted you to hit me again. That one hurt.
It's still buzzing a bit, but it's not.
And that again, I can't really cause too much harm to you. Like some clients, they'll sign like a waiver of not wanting any bruises. Some will sign saying that they want bruise and they take responsibility if I do bruise them, make them bleed, that I'm not held responsible.
Wow.
So for you guys, obviously, I don't know what your situation is.
So over the years, you would have the perfect strength in your arms to know what's a bruise and what's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's
And I can also
How close
hit
were you to
without
bruise?
bruising.
Yeah.
Nowhere near.
Oh, but you got my
Nowhere near.
balls.
Nowhere near. Nowhere
how do
near.
you hit without
We've
bruising?
made balls black before. Like there's no.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
to a white guy. Yeah.
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 Like they'll catch taxis and Ubers to me. Like they won't drive because
Yeah,
they know
yeah.
their session's going to be extreme.
Imagine being the bloke picking him up. Comes out, he's all like fucking bleeding and fucked up. Can't
Yeah.
sit
Do you
down.
guys have your own?
I'm just gonna stand in your Uber for the ride.
Do you have like your own room?
What do you mean?
like
Like
a
a-
Dominatrix room where they come to see you, or do you always go to
So,
them?
no. I've got my own dungeon set up.
Yeah.
And I also have an apartment that I can work from as well for people that don't want the dungeon style.
Yeah.
So
Because
the
I was gonna
dungeon
say,
setup that's not at your house.
Surely
No,
not.
no.
You don't want them where you live.
No.
way.
My house is very separate from everything. Is so separate from. I got a work car. I
Yeah.
have private
Yeah.
cars. I have work clothes, work makeup. Everything's so separate.
Do you
Awesome.
constantly do what you're doing now, wearing the mask?
I do.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
my thing for when I work.
Yes.
No.
No, but as in like when you're working, you do wear the mask all
No.
the times. Oh,
No. My identity is to them. They're fine.
Yeah.
okay.
This is just
Yeah.
like
So if
I
they
mean-
see
safety.
you if they see you in normal life,
Honestly, like
has it happened?
yeah. Sometimes
Just like walk past them at the shops.
Oh, what are you doing here? I also come to this dungeon every Thursday.
yeah, and I've gone to some pretty big events as well where they've been, responsible for them.
Yeah.
Majority of them really respectful. There's some restaurants that I go to that the owners are my clients,
Yeah.
and they'll actually treat me like they'll kind of get a free service almost because me just being there with sandals on. They'll like give me free stuff and they'll like come out and like talk to me just as if like they don't know me, but they're just being extra like nice.
Yeah.
And that to them is like a bit of a free thing for them. And I'll go there purposely to just, and then there'll always be money in my account when I get home because they've just sent it to me.
It's so cool, man.
Yeah, but most people are so respectful. Like this is more like I do this for more for people that don't like our industry. People who know me and if they see this, they're going to recognize me. It's going to be totally fine. They're fine. It's people who have an issue. It's why it sounds really terrible, but a lot of the stuff that's happened to women can sometimes come from other women more than men.
Like
So
the
wives,
slut shaming and
girlfriends,
the hating and the...
that, but also danger-wise,
Oh,
like
wow.
stalking and
Yeah,
wanting to cause harm to me can
Yeah.
come from sometimes, not all the time, but if a woman thinks that their husband is into this sort of stuff,
Yeah.
if I put myself out there,
Yep.
I'm a target for that woman to come and
Vent.
take all her stuff out
Yeah.
onto me. And I have had a few wives turn up over the years to my place. It always turns out really well. I actually end up dominating one of them. And she became a client.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that was good.
When life gives you lemons, fucking put them in a gimp mask and
Yeah.
squeeze the shit out of them.
Pretty much, yeah. Hers was like really, I could just, because I knew her husband told me stuff about her, so I knew she had certain like kinks, so I kind of played on it, and then she became a client of mine.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so for me, it's just a safety thing I'm more
Yeah.
concerned about.
So other than that insane safety measure, what's the most specific? I mean, there's going to be so many strange fetishes for the average Joe, but does anything stand out like that you've only ever done once, or like someone's come to you with something new? Like I know feet fetishes are pretty common. I've heard of people that like to get turned on by balloons. Is there anything that's non-sexual that you've been like, oh wow, this is interesting, or is it always like?
There's so many, like there's like burping, there's passing wind.
Yeah, fart porn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
I don't like being in another room with another girl doing that. But
Yeah.
we've done, I think there's one, obviously there's things that are a big no-no to me, like animal stuff, like crushing bugs and beetles is a huge fetish, especially here in Perth. I don't know what it is. Some girls will do it. They'll crush cockroaches and bugs underneath their feet.
Wow.
To me, that's awful. And then there's another one where they crush birds' wings. So to me, yeah. And
my
there is a
God.
man here that I've
Alive?
reported many times. Yeah. He'll go buy them from pet shop and take them to like the...
Oh, those poor birds.
Yeah, so we've been reporting him for years. But
It's like
so if you're listening, we're
animal
coming for you.
hostel.
Yeah, so when it comes to animal things, like and whenever I receive a message, I report their number to the RSPCA. I find as much information of them as I can.
Yeah, good.
But aside from that and scat, which is brown showers, I'm pretty open-minded to most things. I'm trying to think of like one where I've just gone, wearing slaves' dead wives' clothes for me is a really weird one.
Yeah.
And I have done it a few times, and
I guess that's a nice
extreme.
service though.
for them, yeah,
Yeah.
mentally and emotionally, yeah. But for me, it's a little bit, I feel a bit weird.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I kind of like, I don't see that as being too weird. I think that's a really nice thing you can do for someone.
it is, but you just feel
just the fact that the person's passed away, they're just clothes.
Yeah.
Like if you borrowed it off them when they're alive, like it's clothes. But the fact that they've died.
Yeah.
good
And
point.
I'm
there's
their
a blood
wife.
stain and there's a knife.
Yeah. And I'm next.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like there's so many weird ones. Like one client loves to have Skittles. Like obviously you can put animals up there, but Skittles up his butt.
Do you taste the rainbow? Or
I think
does
he tastes
taste the rainbow?
He tastes the rainbow really well.
So there must be a bit of like for you after. There must be. It's like almost a disinfecting of yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty like. It's hard for me to obviously catch anything from my clientels because the liquids and all that sort of stuff is very far away from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely smells for me are really big.
Yeah.
So if at my work stuff, I cannot use the same candles, the same shampoos at home.
Yeah.
And it has to be super
Yeah.
different. If I'm seeing a man,
because you have an
An association.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I see a man and they had the same cologne or something as like a client that just had a really bad time with or a really vivid image of, they can't wear it.
Yeah.
But most of the things, as soon as you shut that door at work, everything kind of like I just forget. Like, which is why it's really hard to tell stories sometimes because there is so many, and I really just shut the door and I'm like, cool, no worries. I've literally like, I've gone
It
from
normalizes after a while.
It does, yeah. Like it really, and I've gone like with girls that are escorts and like they're my friends, and I've made them do stuff to my slaves, like extreme weird things, like they do the sexual stuff, and then we'll go have like coffee down the road and like pick our kids up and be like, and just completely forget they've just done the most random weirdest thing in a room with a man. So
I guess as the first time client as well, you'd be pretty fucking nervous. So how do you go about calming the nerves of some, or back in the day when it was their first time?
Honestly, like I think I have quite calming energy.
I can listen to you. You got
Yeah,
a
that's
great
good.
voice
Yeah.
to listen to.
It's been very easy to.
That's great.
talk to as well.
So when they come in, if they really, really new, usually I don't give too much room for them to think.
Yeah.
So I'll usually get them into the room and I'll tie them up quite quickly.
Yeah.
So once you tie them up, they're kind of already in that submissive, okay, I can't get out of this situation now. If they don't want to be tied up, then I'll put like a leash on them and I'll just kind of walk them around with me to kind of...
Just like a dog. Like
but depending on what their fetish, like if they're coming to me for foot fetish, obviously I'm just shoving my feet in their mouth and they're sorted.
I think the ball in the mouth would be the worst thing for me. Most other things I think I could tolerate.
Sorry, we just brought you to your dark place.
The ball in the mouth was like, I was like, no, because it really hurts to open my mouth really wide, and I feel a bit like claustrophobic with it. But aside from that,
You've
gone
really
straight to my
handle it.
G-rated was the worst. Like, where would you put someone like me in that? Like, is that a certain person that you would normally get?
Yeah, I mean, I would put you more in nurturing maternal kink. So I wouldn't do corporal punishment with you. Like I wouldn't be like screaming at you, and I wouldn't be like beating you up. I can work up to that.
Yeah.
But what I would start with is like more gentle touches, but then like a hard one. I'd mix gentle with hard.
Yeah.
I like that.
And yeah, I'd probably like maybe a bit of like rope play as well, seeing as you like certain touches and certain here and there. I'd do like a bit of rope play.
I was going to say, you would be the maddest like Boy Scout.
Yeah, I can tie a good knot.
Where did you learn your knots?
My headmistress, yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I can tie, obviously, like there's things that I can tie your balls and your dick up, and I put it around you, and then I can attach it to some of my other equipment, and I know exactly how much to pull on it to tighten the knot so that it gives you like a certain feeling.
Wow.
But just by knowing your...
I must want to try.
It'll cost you.
Yeah. No, I don't.
All you need is a little bit of string for me. It's
Yeah.
it's not much to go with.
Yeah.
But there's a dungeon I worked in Sydney for a little while where we buried people alive.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we cut it's not that we cut their oxygen off, is that we're able to watch the oxygen levels in the tank going a certain area, and that's where they're able to like hallucinate and trip out. So a lot of people obviously who are...
This is a...
It's unbelievable. Can you imagine being the
This is
guy,
a
the
different-
tradie that built it? Like, what are you doing? Oh, we're just building a coffin. Well, for what? Just so girls can cut oxygen off
Why
to
are
glass.
you monitoring their oxygen levels?
Yeah.
You know.
It's
Yeah.
like the most intense escape room where you've got no clues and you can't escape.
And that was quite like, the graveyard was always an interesting
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, anyone who's thinking about doing it, you don't just have to think about the spanking and the whipping. It's just such a
Because I mean, in my head, a stereotypical, because you're quite pretty as well. I thought that you
Quite.
Well, you got a balaclava on, which I love. But I mean, my typical idea of a dominatrix was an elder woman, black hair, like, you know,
quite curvy.
Yeah, and kind of just like, I'm thinking burlesque-y, like a failed burlesque dancer.
Yeah. And to be fair, that is a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I think they're beautiful, obviously. But I think that's why I kind of did quite well, obviously, because I've got more of the girl next door look. And I've got the secretary look. So
or
a
the
lot
girl
of my
in the graveyard look, maybe.
Yeah. So my clientele like the fact that I look like a woman that, you know, would work for them necessarily, or just like, and I look like a mum as well.
How much is the clothing part of it?
For what I wear? For some clients, they don't really care. For some clients, they want me to wear literally like tracksuits, and they want me to wear things like that. Latex, obviously.
So the latex is
I wear
the
quite a lot of
stereotype.
latex.
And then is that the most common?
No, not really. Like for me, my clientele and what they like from me is the more secretary kind of like headmistress. I don't do a lot of latex anymore.
Surely you're at the point now where you can do whatever you feel comfortable with.
I really don't.
Like you know what you're good at. You know what you enjoy as well. And then you've got
you enjoy it, obviously. So it's the do you
I enjoy the fun side of it.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So
the mental side can be like, I did a job yesterday for must have been 4 hours, and had a really big headache afterwards. Even though I wasn't doing anything mentally, I had to be really switched on, and I felt really drained after that booking. And literally, it wasn't really too much involved. It was like walking him around in a chain and like dressing him up as a sissy. So sissy is when you dress them up in girls' clothes and call them like F word and all those sort of things. And that can be quite, because I am really moralistic in my personal life, and I am a real empathetic person. So I do struggle sometimes with things that I have to say to these men and women. And I can find it quite draining when I'm using derogative words that I would never use in my personal life. Like I think they're so wrong. And I'm saying them over and over again. So sometimes I can get home and be like, fuck, I just want to like.
Is it like an actor?
It could be.
It
like
is,
playing a
full
part?
On. Yeah,
it could make you better in your personal life though, because you get that nasty side out.
I'm still a bit, but I do. I get to have a bit of my frustration out. Like, I definitely book in some of my slaves on a certain day of the month, so that I can really just go at them and take it all out on them. And so like there is a good balance, but it definitely can be draining.
I was gonna say the taking out the personal life. Is there? I've got another question. It'll come in a sec, but. Is there like an awards night for you? You know how the strippers have the awards. Do you have a Dominatrix Awards night?
There are so many that I have like won in the UK, everything. And because no one knows what I do, I've never gotten them.
And it's all underground?
I was going to say, how can you...
you've got adult awards here.
But how can you get it if it's just private between you and your slave? It's weird.
So there's like an award system. So you nominate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and there's like, obviously strippers can win, escorts win. Yeah. I think only fangirls now are up for the title. But no, so your slaves have to nominate you. Yeah. And then I think whoever's the board of they read all the nominations and they just they just choose who has the most people and things like that. But in the UK, like, I took out a lot of awards, but I just never went to the award nights because I was literally
that's so gangster.
Not that girl. I was very private, and it's not like I can call my mum up and be like, "Hey, won these massive awards." So like I never, which is like kind of like the downside, because sometimes I do really good things at work. Yeah, you know, like I did
save marriages, save lives.
I did. I really saved a man's life. He literally was going to kill himself, and now he's my client for the last 5 years. Do
you feel that pressure to keep him alive now? Is he all good?
He's all good now. Yeah, thank fucking God. But
if you were to leave that.
No, I got other people backed up for him. He's at a place now. He's fine, but he just felt really ashamed about his kink.
Yeah.
And now he's feeling good about it.
So if you've got a weird kink out there, don't be ashamed of it.
No,
embrace it.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't involve animals. Not that I'm shaming you, but I am. But you should definitely give it a go.
Yeah, I love that. But the draining thing, that's what I was going to say. 4 hours of you're switched on, you got to focus. It's like doing a podcast. It sounds so fucking wanky, but after a potty for a 2 hour chat, you've switched on. Oh, yeah. And after you're cooked.
Oh, we did 2 the other day, and I said to someone the other, we did 2 podcasts today. And they looked at me like I was like, they were like, who gives a fuck? And I was like, no,
See you, AT. Cheers, brother.
mate, thanks so much. We'll give you more of a shout out. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Legend.
It is draining.
They looked at me like I was a dickhead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so strange. But it is mental drain and
And you can't have any, like I can have silence with my client, but if I'm too silent for too long, that's when their brain starts going, fuck, I've got a meeting tomorrow, I've got this tomorrow, my wife's messaging me. So I have to keep going.
I think that's the cure for ADHD. I think I'm in. I need a circuit breaker. So we're going to do some fan questions to finish off.
So Delby, you've got a few more. So the other questions have been answered. So this is a good question. How did COVID lockdowns affect them as a business?
Okay, so this is why I'm also wearing the mask.
Yeah.
It really did us a lot of good, COVID,
Wow.
because people weren't working and they were stressed. They had extra money from, maybe government or whatever.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I made a lot of money during, especially the 8 weeks. I think we went down for a little bit.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, because I didn't work.
Yeah.
But allegedly, and a lot of my cash pigs were just pumping the money.
You can't just say cash pig as if we understand what that is. So a cash pig.
Cash pig is literally, sometimes I don't meet them. They're just electronic people that I control via email, phone, money. So some of them give me their credit cards and I will control their credit cards. And they came in quite heavy during lockdown. I think they were because they couldn't leave the house to go to work. So they couldn't get that escape from their wife. Or
we need a new camera.
I'll let them know. But so my Uber Eats, I didn't pay for any of my Uber Eats when I had COVID as well. My slaves did a really good job making sure that I had all my Uber Eats taken care of. Cash pigs are really great. They're really hard to get and to obtain. Some girls think they can just live off cash pigs, but it takes a lot because you have to control them without an hourly income.
Yeah, because I was thinking just then, your schedule between booking in your slave here, slave there, knowing you got to control this bloke's money, this other person. Do you book in time to control, or is it you're always like, I'm going to control, what's going on? Because for me, with my ADHD, I reckon I could do it, but you would need some sort of system with whose credit card's doing what.
Yeah.
Definitely. You have almost because they've also got to trust me as well. So they'll change their password, as soon as I've done the transaction, just to protect themselves.
Yeah, that's smart.
But everything is set up. Everything we do has a time and place.
That's
Nothing's just willy-nilly. Some girls, I will say, definitely kind of push the boundaries. For me, I think that's why I've done so well with my clientele, because they know that I'm not out here struggling to pay bills. This is a business to me and it's a very successful one. Some girls who are struggling to pay bills, who try and get into this, they do take the piss and they'll take $500 out of the account on the whim.
No trust.
No trust, with mine, I show them that this, I respect them, they respect me.
Yeah.
Total trust play. Some of them will send me their bank account, send me their credit card so I can pay a bill of mine, because that turns them on. I'll never pay a really big one of mine or anything like that. It's just that turns them on, knowing that they're helping me.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Yeah, so
because it's a little reverse of power there.
Yeah.
You've been dominating them, and then they can take that.
They're
small
my financial. Yeah, they're my pig. They're literally all you do for me is pay my bills.
That's so gangster.
And make me money and give me money. But
they like that.
Yeah, that's what they're into. And also they really like if I find out information about their wives or which I try not to do, but they like me to blackmail them.
Oh.
So if I'm okay, you need to send me X amount of money, otherwise I'm going to ring up and I'll say their name and I'll say where they work. And to them, that is that's the golden.
Wow.
If you need some private investigation work,
this is
I'm in.
This is a whole another world that I just didn't really think existed.
Yeah.
Well, I did think it existed, but less
whole new world.
less normalized.
But again, a lot of girls will message, and they're oh, I want to do it. And they just think it's going to be, this is 15 years of building up my clientele, getting the richer gears. Not everyone gets the richer gear on the first client.
Is that the gerbil in the arse richer gear?
No, the good rich client that wants to look after you and love you. And it does. And some girls out here who are dominatrix are making maybe $1,500 a week, which I'm saying that's a good thing, but it's not for me enough to
Allegedly.
To continue working.
Yeah.
So like it just depends what you're doing and what you want out of it. You can sell your undies if you want to make just a little bit of cash on the side. Sell your knickers.
I've done that. First one on camera. I used to do it at confessional. It was back in the day when I was, I think, 18.
What?
Yes. A dude wanted to buy my boxes. And I was like, back then, I might have even been 17, man. And
Jeez.
yeah. 50 bucks, man, back then.
Should have been 200 for the pedo.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't. It was.
Are you okay?
It was on a website. Yeah, I made 50 bucks.
It's on a website.
It was on a website. It wasn't an underwear website. It was a website called ratemybody.com back in the day. And I was like meeting girls on there when I was traveling and shit. But before I traveled, it was on there. And this guy's like, look, man, this is weird, but I just want to buy your undies. And I was like, nah. And he's like, no, I'm serious. Like, I'll just send you 50 bucks. And I was like, oh, all right, man, send me the 50. He did. And then I sent him my brother's undies. So
It is the way to go. It is the way to go. Use shoes. I always know on Facebook Marketplace when you can tell it's a client.
Oh, yeah.
When it's like one of my friends was like, oh, I've got this guy. He's asked me to like take some pictures of the shoes that I'm wearing. I'm like, babe, that is a client.
Yeah.
Do not send those pictures. She's like, oh, but he wants me to like do some stuff. And I was like, he doesn't want those shoes for like his wife. He wants them just for that reason. So there's a lot of that if you want to sell your shoes. It's a lot of money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sick. So we've already covered some pro bono. He wanted to know what's entry-level dominatrix situations. So that's where you go and you learn, but not in Australia. They're a little bit more free cowboys.
Do you mean, to become a dominatrix?
Yeah.
So if a girl wanted to work...
He said, how do they introduce people to the sport?
So here it literally is, you buy the equipment is really expensive.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't just go and buy and you need quite a lot of things. That was probably a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Maybe 150 that one or 200.
Wow.
Someone made it. Someone made that one.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a man that actually makes them. And
spoon
canes,
we're talking about,
canes are quite
spoon.
expensive.
Yeah.
So if you want to start, and you can start with foot fetish, start with things that you don't need equipment for.
Yeah.
Get the money first.
Yeah.
And you can just go on a website, advertise, get a mobile number. You need to have a location to work from. It makes a bit more sense. I do think that you should work for a mistress. I think you should work alongside them, but you don't have to do that here. So I guess some of them aren't going to. But I do train up some girls, and they take on some of my clients that I don't want to see anymore, or I don't have time to see anymore.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
So the more intense equipment, the photo you sent us was like it was almost a table with sides and a tube going into someone's mouth.
Yeah.
Which is, you called
it's a forced toilet. So it's a forced, so basically I sit in that and he's chained to it.
Yes.
So he can't move, he can't move his head away from it. He can't tilt it. So whatever I'm putting down there, he's having to swallow. Otherwise he's not going to be able to breathe because that's his nose is taped up. Everything's sort of covered. So he has to take it.
How much was something like that?
Well, that one in particular, my client actually makes all his stuff because he's a genius.
Wow.
Yeah. But for like toilet things like that, you're looking at like a few grand here and there. You can get cheap ones anywhere, but for the good ones, you're looking at 700 up, all the way up.
What are some
Where
other?
do you go for that?
Yeah.
You can get online websites. You can get.
Do that just customs have to clear it?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But there's dungeon shops here as well. Like there's some places that you can go get some things. But most of my stuff come from online. A lot of my stuff come from the UK that I brought over here. I sold quite a lot when I moved over here because I was like, I don't know how big it's going to be. I think I sold like $100,000 worth of stuff over the years in the UK, which was just random stuff. Like a lot of like your sort of like these materials, like anything metal or anything gold plated, it's quite expensive. Your wands are quite expensive. The ones that you buy at the sex shop, they're not what we would generally use. We use like high grade, good voltage that
you're
aren't going
like
to
Lord
break.
of the Rings shit, and they're fucking Harry Potter.
Yeah, no offense to sex shops, but there is some equipment that they sell there.
You are Lord of the Rings, actually.
But I lose a lot of sort of like my chastity belts, and they cost quite a lot.
You lose them.
Yeah, they just the client just freaks out, so he'll like get them off him somehow.
Oh, like cuts them. Yeah, because you're dominating.
Yeah.
Because
they freak out.
They can't take a piss, the chastity belt?
Yeah, but no, they can sort of, just not very comfortable, it gets very dirty. But they just, I don't know, because they're no longer in that mindset.
Yeah.
So something will happen, a phone call will happen, because some of them will have them for like a day or 2 days, and I've got the key. and then they got to come back to me to release them. I've got like 10 keys in my car right now because I've got to release some people later.
Imagine if your car gets stolen.
Yeah. But yeah, sometimes they'll just freak out and they're like, you know what, this is not for me. They'll cut it off and then they'll call me like, oh, you know, something happened. Can I see it? It's like, no, because you freaked out.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, it's those sort of things. I think you should start with just foot fetish and things like that, and then build your income to get the equipment.
Yeah.
How do they cut it off with bolt cutters?
Yeah, I mean, some of them aren't as strong as others.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Jeez, so yeah.
Jesus.
Customs are like, why is there a guillotine?
Oh my God.
What is there stuff that's borderline torture that they've stopped from being sold to? Is everything that they sell online, it's been like okayed?
Yeah.
Because it's nearly torture.
Yeah.
Right?
Some of the things that they might not sell to some people, but generally they can't really control that sort of stuff.
Do you know much about the origins?
Were they made?
No, the origins of the trade
Of dominatrix.
of dominatrix.
I
I want to say it's
quoted.
German. I
think it's been around from as
as
long as humans have been existed. I think we've had dominatrix. I mean, you look at the Cleopatras of the world, and I mean, she was 100% whipping people. I think it's just always been there. But no, I'll have to have a look at that. I'm not quite sure. I should know where my industry has come from.
Yeah.
This is Perth Dude. We've already answered this as well. Do you prefer to be dominated in your personal life? We've covered a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use this profession in your real relationships? What's the strangest thing you've been asked to do? We've covered that. If there's anything else that's weird, we got Skittles up the bum. We got your stock standard pissing in the mouth where they can't control. You've got dead wives' clothes. I think it's all. Is there anyone that's had like a car fetish where they want to fuck their car or like an object, a weird object?
Yeah, I've got slaves that are married to objects that they bring into the dungeon.
Wow.
And they want the object to watch them being
like
being
what's
dominated.
a example?
So one of them is married to like a ruler, like it's like a certain type of ruler. It's not like a normal ruler.
Oh.
So
What the This is
so I have to tie the ruler up.
Yeah.
And like pretend like the ruler is gonna watch him be dominated by me.
That's like
That's
Toy
always
Story.
fun.
That's sex.
And if
Toy
he's
Story.
listening, I love doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and your ruler's really pretty.
Nice.
But yeah, so there's another one who's has an attraction to like not sharp objects, but like there's a certain like
curvature.
There's like any object.
That's awesome. How does it affect the private sex life? We've covered that. How many high-profile people have come and seen it? Sounds like heaps, but you can't name who they are.
Lots.
Almost exclusively.
Lots, yeah.
Is it like obviously we're dropping any names? Is there people that you've had and you know who they are and you don't know walking in and you've seen them and gone, holy fuck! Like that's what's happening right now.
100%. And
Wow.
I have seen some of my like people that I would watch in like a movie, let's say, and be like, yeah, damn, like he is so hot.
Yeah.
And then next minute I'm looking up their butt and I'm like, you are not hot. I don't want you no more. And I don't want to watch that movie ever again. No, I was joking. I love all my slaves.
That's
but
Human Centipede.
Yeah. And there's some people.
It's all right. I love Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Cumberbatch.
But there's definitely some people as well that I know who are very outspokenly homophobic or outspokenly against, and I know exactly what they do.
Always the way.
Yeah.
That is
Always the way.
And that's quite hard for me to handle because I would love to just go to the media and be like,
them, yeah.
yeah, but I would never do that because
So much
that's
trust.
his business. Yeah.
So much trust. I fuck it. It's always the ones that are the outspoken homophobic or trans or whatever.
Yeah.
But we secretly love the jab.
Yeah. But do you think that like that's where all those the secrecy amongst other things that go too far, like child trafficking, stuff like that.
Yeah, we do report things like that.
But do you think that's where that same culture breeds from, the secrecy around it? It's like, no, I'm in, I can't say anything.
Yeah, like I think, I'm a conspiracist, but yeah, I think like with the elite and stuff, like I think, it's really hard to speak out of what's going on.
Well, look at the Epstein stuff is a public version of what we get to see. I'm sure it most definitely delves way deeper than that.
Yeah.
Just like, I guess, we see this mainstream viewpoint of dominating, which is 50 Shades of Grey, whereas no, it's
goes extreme,
far too extreme to non-sexualized to sexualized.
Yeah, and that's why as well I think when it comes to my security and safety, I am very cautious because I have seen most wanted of other countries. Like I've seen people that you just know that if police or anyone knew I was about to see that person, they could just hide in my, not that I ever do now,
Yeah.
but like there's people that I've seen that I know that are very well known towards, in society for untoward things. I've never seen a bad person. I've never seen like a murder or anything, but I've seen very big drug lords. I've seen very big, and things like that. And I would
Very big
never,
dicks.
and I would never mess with their
Yeah.
privacy because it's just not worth it for me. I try not to see them, but sometimes I can't help. If they book me and stuff or they've been given to me by another client, I kind of just take them on and then I work out who they are.
Yeah.
So things like that I am really strict about. I've got to say, any girl that's ever sold a story on a client, I cannot respect. Unless obviously they're putting a child in danger. I don't understand girls who sell stories on celebrities or politicians or things like that, because I just think they put in trust in us to keep their secret, and their secret wasn't hurting anyone.
Yeah.
It was just getting a release. So I don't understand, and I've been offered lots of money to release some of the things that I've seen, and I just never will. I'll take it to the grave with me.
So do you think it's more of a thing, like the people who want to be these big actors, the people who want to be politicians, they've got a certain mindset. So they're already in that mindset of they're going to like this sort of stuff as well? Because it seems to be a common thread between like a certain few fields, like the dominatrix stuff.
I mean, I'm not
is
saying
it less that like, I become an actor now and I become a famous
now
actor
I
and
have pegged.
now I want
No.
or is it like the same sort of traits of people are going to be in those fields, so they're all also going to like that sort of dominating stuff?
I definitely think I think there's something, certain attraction, like a certain personality trait that is attracted to certain businesses and industries. But it's hard to say because, like I said, like we can see anyone, we can see whoever it is. It could be just a nice husband that's likes a bit of kink and fetish. But I think sportsmen and politicians, they definitely do require that silence. And I think some of them also need that outlet to explore their sexuality in a safe space where they're not being reported, no one's discussing it. And we're all seeing them do the same things at the same time. So like you say, if one person wants to speak about it, they've got to speak about what they did to out that person. So a lot of profile people will sometimes come with another person because it's almost like we are both seeing each other do this. We're both seeing each other exposed. So
that's exactly how they did it. We've got leverage on you.
Did you start to go into conspiracy there before?
I'm a big conspiracist.
Was there one that you were going to say?
Just the elite.
Well,
just the elite in child pedophilia, and all the pedophiles are
well, that's what that's what I was getting at before. Is if it's so easy to hide anything like that, the leverage system would be a perfect way of doing it. Like
100%.
You're coming along, we're both doing this.
Yeah.
If you get rat on me, I'm ratting on you.
Yeah, definitely.
Sort of thing.
And I think when it comes to the pedophile things, when it comes to like the high profile people, they're not tend to come to see me. They would more see an escort, because they've got more freedom with play. They know they don't have much freedom with me. And I have reported a few people in my time in regards to, I felt that they were definitely endangering on fantasy and reality. And I reported them.
Who do you report them to?
To the police. Yeah, I just get the number. I just get the mobile number. And it could be a fake number, but that's all I can do. I'll just say this person's been saying this, and I think they're going to go one step further. And that's all I can do, really.
You think
what do they say about your, like, so it's legal here?
Yeah.
So, okay, so
and we have a really good relationship. With
so you
police.
think the cops are protecting us? It's really the dominatrixes.
We are the superheroes of the world. And also, we get protected by other people as well. Like if I ever needed anything, I have people that I can call and are very protective.
And catch pigs. We've covered that. Has someone asked you if they can call you mummy?
Yeah, I get that all the time.
Play?
Yeah, I get that all the time.
Who would you rather dominate, Daniel or Branchy, and why?
Who would you rather dominate?
Oh dear.
And why? Like, what's the behind in wanting to dominate?
Very confronting having us both.
We're right in front of you. I don't think either one of us would be offended either way.
I'd say I'm going to answer a politician way. I'd say with you, Daniel, I would enjoy it because I know that you have a bit of enjoyment in it. So I would be able to enjoy my time as well. However, with you, I do like to torment and I do like to push boundaries, and I get off on that in my personal life and my work life. So I would also enjoy knowing that you're uncomfortable, but really wanting to kind of open you up and push you.
If this was a situation where we're not just having a bit of fun on a podcast, you want to, I've got the ball in my mouth, you would want me to be hurting and want that to be a bit uncomfortable. I don't want you to be hurting,
but I definitely want you to feel like I have your life in my hands.
Yeah.
Discomfort.
No
yeah.
So we're going to have to do it together. So I know what you've done and you know what I've done.
Yeah. Like there is times in my work where I definitely have felt a bit of like, oh, okay, this feels quite good. And I'll go home and have a great time at home because I have had a little bit of my kink, which is being adored, being praised, being like worshipped.
Yeah.
So worshipping
I think you look
with
beautiful
me.
Today.
So worshipping, no, you told me I had lipstick on my teeth though. But worshipping for me, I really enjoy. Like I get off on that as well. I mean, I don't get off necessarily on the client underneath, like doing the worshipping, but I definitely go home and I'm very fueled up to have some fun. So I'd say both of you.
I think we've kind of covered what's off limits, but so we've said like pedophilia stuff, animal stuff, shit, anything else that's off limits. Someone's like obviously asking for a mate.
Obviously, as long as it doesn't cause anyone. So I will never do voyeurism in the sense of I got some clients that want me to, punish them and stuff in public, and I won't do that because I don't feel it's fair on people around to be part of their fetish and their kink without them giving me permission. So I don't do that, but I'll do it in other ways. Like I'll take them to shopping with me and I'll have a electrical device on them.
Wow.
And I will zap them and privately do things to them without anyone knowing that we're doing that. Yeah.
So I could be at bras and things. Well, I don't know what I do
you'd
there.
be kicked out of there.
And walk you past and you could be there with what I feel is your husband or boyfriend.
Well, usually I won't stand near them sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to even be near them. I want them to just be a complete stranger, but I will be,
fuck.
And then I'll just put the stuff down that I want on the table and then I'll walk away and then they'll just go and pay.
Incredible.
That's great.
So yeah, and there's a few shops that actually know who I am. And they know that I do that with clients, and they kind of play because I've got an agreement with them because they make commission everything that I buy. So I try and go to those shops to kind of make more respect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about things like hedonism? Do they bring you to hedonism to be dominated?
No, I never do things like that.
Hedonism, that's a swinging?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I won't do things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Cock cages, I've got an object cuck.
Again, this is probably more down like someone thinking it's all about sex and sex.
Well, what is it? Is there a cock thing as a cock cage?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's literally like it's almost similar to a with my keys and everything like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Is he asking as in do I do cock cages?
Must be, yeah. It's just got a question mark.
Oh.
An object cuck. Is that where you get fucked in front of an object?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. I've not really heard it put that way, but yeah.
What about cuck? Yeah. Do you do cuck stuff?
Yeah.
So the guy will get fucked by someone else in front of you, or his wife maybe, or
it depends really. So like I say, I've got two men that will come and I will do it to them. Like I'll force one of them to do it the other person, and I'm the person that they're doing it in front of, or I'll do it with a wife. And sometimes we'll tie the man up.
Wow.
And the wife will then do things to somebody else that I bring in.
Wow.
It just depends on what the dynamic
Such
is.
a strange dynamic because I could not think of anything worse myself, but I don't shame people
no,
to do it.
Yeah,
it's
and
very.
It is. We've both found like little moments where we're like, oh no, that doesn't seem. But again, it seems foreign to us. But
yeah, it's quite sexy. Like I didn't think, because I'm not into, like I'm very owned and I like to own and be owned. I don't like to share my toys. But I did find it quite sexy, like when the man's tied up and his wife is being like used and stuff, and seeing the torture in his face, like that to me was quite. That released a bit of a kink in me that I didn't know about within me. I could never do it because I wouldn't want to do something with somebody else if I was with somebody.
Yeah.
But I definitely would think about it, like think about them watching. And so, yeah, I definitely saw a sexy side of that I didn't think I would.
I mean, I've had people in the past say that they'd like to see me with another chick, but for me to see a guy with them would like destroy me, I reckon.
It
to
is
see
hard.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Even like, I don't know, it used to. Maybe now I think I just want it to be me.
Yeah.
Like if she's getting pleasure, then it's great. But at the same time, I want to be the person that's giving it to her.
Yeah, men struggle more with that than women watching their men with other women.
Yeah.
I've had men walk out in hissy fits.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had a woman walk out,
Yeah.
but I've had men be like, "Nah, I'm done," and walk out.
It's got to be. Yeah, it would be pretty tough.
I think because it's a
Very taboo.
yeah,
It's a role reversal.
and it's an ego thing as well.
Yeah.
Women aren't too ego driven in that sense. I think men have that one thing they need to be
Yeah,
good at.
yeah.
If you think of it as just a dildo connected to a dude, it's not as bad, right? But it's just like,
Nah.
you know,
Yeah.
No, I feel. No,
more,
no,
You know, I've only ever felt bad about one of my clientele actually, and hopefully he doesn't ever listen. But he came to me for a foot fetish, and I was like, "Oh, you like to suck that way too good. Like you are not just. There is something else about you that I could push." So then I was like, "You should suck this strap on." He's like, "Nah, I'm not into that." I was like, "Nah, you're going to." So I forced him, and then it went from that, and I was like, "You know what you should do? You should suck a real one." And he's like, "Nah, it's not for me." So we did it. He left his wife for a man now. Yeah, and I feel really bad. Oh my God, if they listen, they'll kill me.
That's good though, because
I
obviously
opened.
it
I
was
just
gonna
felt
happen.
something. Yeah, I just felt something.
Yeah.
I was like, you just seem.
You've helped his wife out because he's living a lie.
And there was definitely stuff. But yeah, that's the only time I've gone. Oh, did I overstep my power? But no, I mean it was obviously there. But yeah, that's the only thing I've ever gone.
Yeah.
Shit.
It would have happened.
Eventually.
Yeah,
I mean,
surely.
Maybe.
Surely. It's just like letting me eat fucking spare ribs. I'm going to go eat a fucking more expensive rack of ribs,
Yeah.
you know? Whereas if I had never had ribs, maybe I'd just stick to my steak. No. Sorry, Tash Peterson. All right. I reckon that's probably...
This has been
Have
an
we got any
eye-opening.
more from the hard yarns?
No.
Questions?
All the rest was
Cool.
answered. But yeah, this has been a very eye-opening
And a
Chat.
butthole opening.
butthole
An
opening
all-opening.
experience for me.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's still sexual. I get that, but I just thought it was all about sex and
I
coming.
think it's
and
like so... I think the small part of it's about sex.
that's
though.
what
Yeah.
I've just
Yeah.
realised. It's not. It's a very small part of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. If I see 10 clients a day, not that I do anymore, but if I see, let's say 5, only one of them will probably be released.
Yeah.
The rest won't be released.
I'm
They'll just
surprised you
go.
had time to message me, so thank you.
I know.
Mistress
I mean, I'm
Sienna.
semi-retired now, so I do what I
Yeah. Well,
want.
thank you so much for
Yeah, appreciate
Coming
your
on.
time.
Thank you.
I know
Well,
that time is
send us an
precious.
invoice for the for the whipping.
It's all right, it's a cheapie. It's like $150 for 10 minutes. It's
Oh
fine.
Jesus Christ!
like a
Business is good. I am
That's a
beginning.
stand-up comedy set.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me, and I hope
That's
I've
awesome.
answered questions properly.
Before we
Yeah.
finish, is there anything you want to plug apart from mine and Delby's ass?
No,
yeah.
I'm good.
Cool.
Yeah, just obviously the reason why I don't advertise my
Yep.
work name is just for safety and
Yeah.
security.
Cool.
But yeah,
No, very nice.
If you
Anything
do
you
want to
got-
get involved, if you need if anyone wants to be a cash pig, at Daniel
Contact
Delby,
yeah.
it's my Instagram. Yeah.
awesome.
Sick. So
Nothing you
thanks
gotta
for
plug?
coming on. Teacher Comedy Night, if this comes out tonight.
Well, tonight.
Thursday the 14th. So if you'd like to come, feel free.
Mm-hmm.
That in a different. If you'd like to attend, feel free.
Yep.
I'll cash pig you and give you a free one for that.
Nice.
It's at the Rechabite, and then I think that's it for gigs until I'm going down south. If anyone's, this is just a hangout. I'm going down south by myself for a wedding on April 22nd. Going to go to Out of the Woods solo on the 23rd. Go catch. I think
I couldn't go to that because I had Scotty that weekend.
and
I think.
footy.
Footy? Oh yeah.
So if anyone's down south on the Anzac Day long weekend, fucking hit me up. We'll go to Out of the Woods. So this is just a plea for a friend.
Perfect. All right, I got nothing to plug. That's it.
Oh,
So-
and anyone up in Exmouth, me and Wolfie are coming up Wednesday, May the 18th. So get tickets from Froth.
Can we talk about Anzac Day?
Yeah, fucking oath, actually.
Actually, yeah. So Anzac Day.
Huge news.
Yeah, huge news. Actually, yeah.
I've
Fuck
saved
it.
it all the way at the end.
Yeah, huge news. We're putting on shows live at the Camfield.
Yeah. So basically, Campfield have got us for any away games. So Dockers or Eagles away games will be at Campfield for the hour before them, doing a live potty with guests, prizes, all sorts of stuff. And hopefully Tex is going to be able to film some of it as well.
Yep.
So really excited. It's not even really Campfield. It's with Bevy Brewing Co.
Yes.
So
It's just at the Camfield.
yeah,
That's all.
hard
Yeah.
yarns in the yard.
Hard yarns in the yard. I think the first guest will.
It's either going to be Quinton Lynch, Shane Woden, or somebody that's played an Anzac Day game, hopefully.
Yes, I'm assuming it'll be Quentin Lynch.
Hopefully.
He's probably played in one Anzac Day game.
That's fucking one more than us.
Yes, exactly. So, poor Cap couldn't get on. He's got a barbecue at his place.
Yep.
We could talk about his last ever. That's what ended his career at Essendon, I think, the Anzac Day game. But it's fucking awesome.
Cool. Catch you there, and fucking hopefully enjoy this episode. Peace.